going to meet? Who are you going to meet?
Good
Tell us.
morning. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Merry Christmas, Pilgrim.
Hey, yeah, Merry Christmas. Note, I've been given the Christmas mug.
Oh, I should have got mine. I should have got mine. Holy cow. Very nice. Got little nice little birds on it and whatnot.
Yeah, well, but robins and holly and I don't know.
Perfect.
But like your house general, my house general has gone overboard with Christmas as usual.
Perfect.
What can you do about that? Not a lot.
Yeah,
Not a lot.
perfect. Perfect. Yeah, we're covered up in Christmas over here. We had a fantastic Christmas, man. Did you get anything fun?
I got a new monitor, which is why the camera's now facing that wall because I've had to put it on the old monitor because it won't fit on the new monitor.
That's fun.
As such, it will fit, but because it's got no edge to it, the camera then bleeds into the screen itself. So, whereas this one's got like a black edge goes round. Monitors.
Were you a two monitor before or just one?
Yeah, I was two monitor, but the second one went, so I was using an old TV as a second screen. I know, it's like, but the pixels were horrible on that, so now we've got a new monitor. But
well, good on her,
it's
man.
quite nice. Yeah, it's good. I mean, she knew I wanted a new monitor, but she didn't ask anything. But she obviously spoke to my son about what's the best gaming monitor, blah blah blah. I mean, it does all sorts of wonderful things, I guess. I really don't know. It's just the picture's absolutely clear and sharp and nice and does all of the things it's supposed to do, I guess. So, there you go. New monitor.
That's at least 2% win rate right there.
Yeah, because I now see the cupolas.
That's right.
Yeah, whereas before it was just a blur.
Now I can pick the pixels, my friends.
Absolutely.
I got.
What did you get, by the way?
I got
Did you,
desktop
did you get-
cornhole,
Oh, cool.
and it's got little tiny bean bags with it.
Yeah, look at that.
No, that was in the stocking.
You
Just
get that in
little
a
goofy,
cracker.
little goofy. Yeah, that was probably. We actually do that, by the way.
Oh dear.
I won.
Did you?
Yes, the crown stayed on the longest. That's at least our little tradition. Whoever wears it the longest. First of all, if you're still wearing it, you don't have to do the dishes.
There's an incentive there somewhere, isn't there?
There is, and there's no real win other than pride. But I usually do win. One year I had to go to bed and wake up with it on to win.
No way.
Yeah, my son or somebody also went to bed, but
Yeah.
theirs came off.
Okay. What do you do? You glue yours to your head?
No, I just put it on my big fat head and it sits there.
Oh, okay, a new one.
Yeah, because I'm fat, it just sits.
Nice one.
What else did I
Nice one.
get? Oh, the coolest thing I got, it was a whiskey sour smoking kit.
Oh, interesting.
So have you ever seen a smoked whiskey sour where they take the little wood chips and the
Yes.
heater thing, and then
Yep.
it puts the smoke in the tumbler, and
Yeah.
supposedly it makes it better or whatever. I kind of dig that, so I got a whiskey sour smoking kit. That's pretty cool.
Nice one. Nice
Yep.
one. Does it taste different?
You get the smoke, so it comes with 5 or 6, and you can buy a gazillion different kinds of wood chips with flavorings in them and
Okay.
stuff.
All right.
Everything
Yeah.
from cinnamon, chocolate, blah blah blah, fruity stuff, savory,
Yeah.
herbs, yada yada. The wood itself, depending on what it's from.
Okay.
I kind of like it because it does, as you drink it, you get that sort of smoky thing going on, and I don't know
You'll
why.
smell that as well. It's a lot about olfactory stuff, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I with my barbecue, I use hickory wood or sometimes other types of wood in there. I've got a little smoking container which I just throw the wood in, and it sits on the barbecue. Metal container with holes in it, and it just infuses all the meat with the smell of the wood.
It's the same idea. Plus, as you're
Same
cooking
idea.
it kind of it's a nice thing, and it
Yeah. It's nice to stand there.
it's an aesthetic.
I work with a Russian, right? One that escaped Russia before the Ukraine invasion.
Oh wow.
And I don't. Yeah, he's a nice guy actually. I do take the piss out of him though. I said, "Are we invading anybody today?" That sort of thing. I'm sure he's going to report me to HR at one point. But anyway, he's great. He's teaching me Russian, Dobra Dan, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So he brought me this. I don't drink, but I guess you guys might appreciate. Can you see that?
What is it called? Riga?
Riga
Black.
Riga Black.
Oh, nice.
Balsam
Russian
I don't know
whiskey?
what it is. It's obviously some sort of whiskey or vodka, flavored vodka or something. But it's in a stone jar. Look, it's in a stone jar.
A stone jar.
Proper nice. You know.
So
what I mean?
it's a vodka.
I would imagine it's a vodka. Yeah, Riga Black. It doesn't say. It just says crafted spirit drink.
Well, I got Black
I-
Balsam. It says a Latvian herbal liqueur.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
A herbal drink. Oh,
If
there
it's
you
the
go.
same Riga Black, is it Riga Black Balsam 1752?
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a liqueur. Riga Black, traditional Latvian
I know
balsam,
vodka.
often considered to be the
nice
national
one.
drink of Latvia. And it
Well, he's
doesn't-
originally from. He was born 10 miles from Chernobyl. Then he moved to Latvia. He joined the Latvian army, which is why he's part of NATO.
yeah.
But he was born in Russia. So, yeah, about 10 miles from, or 15 miles from Chernobyl before it went nuclear.
Oh, wow.
Before it went radioactive. Yeah. He's
Yeah, it's a
good lad.
liqueur,
He's
so it's got all kinds of stuff in it. It's
all
kind
right.
of
Nice one. Nice one. I didn't even research it. I should have researched. I just thought it was vodka. Because
Yeah.
it was Russian. But it's Latvian.
combination of birch, lime, ginger, cocoa, licorice, baking spices, and berries.
Oh, very nice.
So it's probably one of those aperitifs or something meant to be drunk. Probably
Small
I'm
glass.
sure there's people
Small
who drink big glasses, but I think it's probably meant to be drunk in small glasses.
Absolutely. Okay.
Let's see,
Well,
Bike
I'll
Tour.
test it on the House General then.
There you go. See, since you don't do that anymore, yeah.
No, I'll just have to pretend.
That's a
I
fun
guess
thing
it's
for
okay.
guests though, who just like a
Oh,
nice little
yeah,
drink. You
right.
just, hey, check this stuff out.
Check this stuff out. Yeah, it's like, it's something unusual. I've not seen that at all in the UK. So whether he got it from Latvia. I mean, he goes home a lot, so yeah, maybe that's it.
Bike Tour got a
Cool.
heated vest so he can go out and go shooting his clays. Nice.
Do you know
dude.
what?
Is that like
They
a
are
battery?
some- yeah. You get them for bikers. Bikers can get them.
All right, I have heard of that actually.
You've
Yeah.
got like elements around
Yeah.
the chest area and around the back, and you have a battery pack which you slot in. Yeah, they're cool. They're expensive though.
That is interesting. Yeah, looks like they're usually sleeveless, which is probably a good idea because then that can just go over whatever else that you're wearing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that'll keep the core warm, which is cool.
yeah.
I'm looking this stuff up as I go. I'm trying to think of what else I got. Terrible, actually. I'm sure there was other big stuff.
Yeah,
mean,
there was something.
Somehow, I'm terrible because I'm the worst buyer in the family. I did well this year, actually. I did pick up some good stuff for the
Good.
fam. I actually had a couple inspired gifts, which I don't do well with, personalized kind of stuff. So I did okay with that, but I'm not a volume guy.
No. I tell you what works well for the House General for next year. Well, you may already do this, but I get a small woven basket, and this is good advice, gentlemen.
All right,
If
take
you've
notes,
got
fellas.
If you've got a lady in your house, this is
Take
good
notes.
advice. Ensure you get the right product, but go to the local chemist or a retailer that sells ladies' products and get the right ones that the lady in your life uses and buy the miniature bottles of everything. So I've got miniature hand cream, miniature face cream, blah, 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 all this different stuff, and then load it all in, put tissue paper into the little woven basket, and then load it all in, face masks and all that sort of good stuff, and then put tissue paper over, lots of sprinkly stardusty stuff, and then cellophane and a big bow, right? It costs virtually nothing, but looks amazing. Looks really expensive. And of course, it's everything that the girl wants. Creams for everything. You know what it's like.
That's actually not a bad idea. You could do a lot of different things in that because they love the basket thing. Yeah.
The basket thing. Oh, you could put, if your good lady likes teas or coffees, you can add a few tins of coffee. You can get miniature everything these days, can't you? You get little things of something, tester things,
Nice. Oh,
Yeah,
Brutes.
that's. Oh, Brute.
Oh, Brute's got the grandsons in the age of crafting little things like that, which tend to be the best gifts of all time.
Awesome.
Those are good.
Awesome.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. It's the wood, and then they put the nails, and then you weave the stuff, and if you go the right way, it makes a picture of something. Yeah.
That's cool. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
Oh, this is great. So, in the tradition of everything I do has to be hard or ridiculous
Absolutely.
or a problem. My most inspired thing is the Frau wanted to go to see. We talked about this last week. Barry Manilow, right?
You did. Yep.
Okay. So I got the tickets. We talked about that last week. I was excited for it to open up. I'm like, this is going to be great. Got a place out in St. Augustine for the time frame. Coordinated with some of her friends to see if they wanted to go because it happens to also be on her birthday.
Nice one.
About 2 days before Christmas, my buddy sends me an article. He's like, hey, man, just so you know. Well, apparently, he's got cancer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shit.
So the entire thing is on pause. I mean, he's 82 or something like that. So they caught it really early. He went in for a chest infection that wasn't necessarily related. And the doc had them do MRIs and checks anyway, because the guy has $1 bazillion, so why not be extra cautious on everything? And they found a little spot, which they're like, all right, we got to operate. Doesn't have to do chemo, apparently. He doesn't have to do radiation. They're just going to take the spot off. He's 82, so that's going to delay it. So I'm like, oh, geez. So I didn't know that at first. I'm like, great. So I buy these tickets, and now it's canceled, But it turned out good, because what we're going to do is it's been pushed back to April, so I'm just going to take her on a little mini vacation on the same dates, because the place we're going is really cool and we like it. And then I'll take her again later on. So it's like perfect. It actually covered a birthday and a Christmas.
Okay. There is a benefit to that then. That's cool. I do hope your pal gets through that and gets to the other side of that.
Well, that's that's Barry.
Oh right. Okay.
Barry Manilow has the cancer.
Oh.
Right.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
I thought it was you.
No. I probably didn't describe it very well. Yeah. His concert was January 12th in Jacksonville, where we were going, and that's when he said, "Hey, I don't think Barry's going to be there." I'm like, "Oh, great! This whole thing that I built up, this gift is now just poofed." But it turns out it was all right.
Well, you know what I mean? I mean, he's bloody selfish if he doesn't put his concert back on, isn't he? You know what I mean? Maybe he could just stand on stage and play a tape recording of him singing. That'd be fine, wouldn't it?
That might be what's going on anyway.
It could be, couldn't it?
No, I think he actually still sings. He still has a residency in Las Vegas. He still does.
Oh, does he?
I don't know if it's daily or twice a week or once a week or once. I don't know what it is, but he's in Vegas all the time. Do you think?
He's obviously, yeah. I mean, he's a crooner these days, isn't he? That's where he's at. The old names like Frank Sinatra and people like that went on forever, didn't they? So he's one of the old traditions now, I guess.
Bounce a Lot's trying to draw us back into World of Tanks.
Oh, let's do tanks, shall we?
Let's see. Man, that's the age-old question, isn't it? Do you think Watt is not so much about your having a high skill set or what I do in battle, but more like, is it more of one or the other? It's both. I don't know which one. I lean towards the skill set piece because you're going to use your skill set and your knowledge of the game to work around the second part. Because obviously,
I would disagree.
Really?
Yes.
You think it's more about? Go ahead.
Well, when I go, I mean, this is because you and I have got tens of thousands of games in this game, battles in this game, but I get two indicators to me is these days, and it probably not so much earlier on, but these days. The two indicators for me is that my aimed shots invariably bounce. If I'm on a losing game, I can probably know within a minute of getting into the game that it's a loss. Because my shots are not penetrating. Fully aimed. I've just had 2 grill games now. I've just grinded on my European account to the tier 10. And you can almost tell straight away, you lose a tank or two very quickly at the beginning of the game. And then your shots have no impact, the first 5, 6, 7 shots. And it's only later on in the game you start to get decent shots. So, and I know, you said, well, but I think I don't know, there's a hidden factor about World of Tanks is that it just feels like you don't get the breaks. You don't get the breaks, you lose the game. It's not about skill. I mean, I was properly aimed on, and I could see the shot fall, ricochet, non-pen, bounce, ricochet.
So I understand what you're saying, and there's a portion of that I agree with in principle, and it is important. But let me ask you this: let's say the same girl game, you just drove back and sat by Artie, and you never fired a shot. Are you helping your team?
Yes.
Are you probably worse off? Are you probably worse off over time if you did that every time than if you did what you?
Absolutely, you are, because
so that's the skill piece.
In the team, yeah.
That's the skill piece. If you continually and again remember stats are over time, not individual games.
Yeah.
Right. Over time, you're trying to put your tank in the right place. You're trying to do the right thing. Now, the part where you said I can tell it's going to be a tough game where I'm missing, I agree with that 100%. Because, yes, if you go out and you're doing the best you can do and you're taking what you think are good shots and all those things. Now, the question becomes, are you really positioning well? Are you really shooting well? That's subjective to our own minds a lot of time. It's probably better if over time you got a lot of debriefs and you were able to have somebody else look at it and go, yeah, I don't think that was true.
Yeah.
So let's put that aside for a second. Let's say you're doing your level best, your skill set, your skills to affect the game. When it doesn't work out, that is the dispersion, RNG, randomness of the game working. And you can take, when you look at that and go, well, my first 3 shots didn't work, so I'm already behind in dealing damage. Let's make it even dumber. Let's say my first 5 shots didn't work in a grill, and it's a long reload. So we're pretty far into the game already based on positioning and all that, and I don't have any damage yet. And I look up and I see there's 5 of my tanks dead, and none of theirs. That's true on an individual game level. That game is in trouble, and you're assessing that based on your skill. But I disagree with the idea that some external factor or the game, at least a sentient piece of the game, is deciding that. It's just the way the game is built, and it's 100% true for you to go, yeah, this particular match is probably in the bin or is headed quickly into the bin, because the game mechanics worked against me today, but not because the game mechanics woke up and said, nope, screw you, just because that's just the way they are. That's how the game is designed. So when I said I would call it a 51-49 just for giggles. I think it's a bit higher than that. I would say skill 51. I think it's higher than that, but let's just for argument's sake, it's skill 51, game mechanics 49%. There's still the idea that your skill level will work around the 49% issues of the game mechanics better than someone who has less skill in doing so.
Yeah, no, I accept that.
I mean, we have 60% players out there plus.
Yeah.
We can't, it is illogical and silly to say that, especially guys you watch play every day, skill. Even quickly.
Oh yeah.
Some of these other dudes, all these streamers that are the skill streamers, not skill himself, but the high skill streamers.
Yeah.
Not the entertainment or whatever. Dude, there it is in black and white or color on your screen in all its glory, and they're absolutely slaying constantly over and over. Now the true conspiracy theorist will say Wargaming has given them extra RNG to promote their game. All right, now we're going into, like, we're really going down a rabbit hole there. And if that's where people are, none of what I'm saying is going to pull them back from that precipice.
No, that's true.
They're over that precipice. They're head first, and nothing you say is going to fix that. But if it's like the discussion you and I are having, where we're talking within kind of margins of which one. And if somebody came to me and said, well, I think it's 51% game and 49% skill, okay. I kind of disagree, but that we're not that far off. And I would say even if it was 49% skill and 51% game, that varying skill level still has an effect on your win rate. Does
I
that
think
make sense?
there's other things to consider as yeah. It makes absolutely great sense, but there are other things to consider. I think when you get into a situation like the 2 games I had this morning, and it might be a self-defeating prophecy, but when you get into the game, you're thinking, oh, this feels like a loss straight away because you can see the dynamics of your team. So the 2 things that you can bring into that, for example, on the second grill game, not only did I have absolutely rubbish shots happening to me, it wasn't me, it was happening to me, but also then I was set on fire. Of course I was, because it was that sort of game, wasn't it? I was going to be set on fire. But I think you've got a couple of other things. You've got the overall skill set of your team in comparison with the skill set of the opposite team. Now, Wargaming say they don't do skill-based MM, and obviously if that's what they're saying, we can take them as their word, and they don't do that. But there does seem to be, when you look at the players on each side after the battle, you can see in a lot of games that you've been in, there is a distinct skill advantage to the winning team.
Well, yes.
So, you have to go through each player, go through and say, okay, this guy's a 52% player, this guy's a 48%, this guy's 46%, and you can do that. And I've done that a couple of times. I've gone, yeah, I had technically the worst skills side, if you like.
Yes, and over time, when you're on the less skilled team, you will, over time, have a worse win rate because of those teams. Then the question becomes, well, how many teams are you on the better skill team? And over time, you'll have a better result. Yeah. If you are a 57, 58% player like me, or 60-something% or whatever it is that the Diablo is, over time, your teams will have better results because you are on the team and you are adding to the experience level over time. And individually, 100% what you said as far as I look at an individual map and I see a real big skill mismatch. Probably, odds are, that more skilled team will win. That's just how stuff works. If I take 50,000 battles of that same team, then it's probably going to have a good win rate. And the other team that has less skill, it's probably going to have a worse win rate. But we have varying games, and Matchmaker just throws skill together. Now, what guys are talking about is the Matchmaker being an issue. For me, it's not the Matchmaker's fault necessarily. It's what it has to work with. You can't just look at Matchmaker in a vacuum and go, oh, Matchmaker needs to balance all these tanks. Well, the problem is you have imbalanced tanks, wildly imbalanced tanks, and you have a 3-tier system. Yeah. So it's very difficult to balance matches with a 3-tier system and wildly imbalanced tanks within tiers. That's not easy. I don't think there's anything for Wargaming to gain by purposely building imbalanced Matchmaker teams. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what the purpose is.
On that note, Guido, yes, they have nothing to gain by doing that, but they also haven't got anything to lose by doing it. So, so it's a little bit like saying by exception. You've got to remember that there are certain algorithms within this game that Wargaming do apply to stop you. For example, seal clubbing. If you go and play, if you've got a number of battles you and I have got, and you go and play a tier 2, invariably there is something in there that stops you having a good game. Maybe it's just me. I mean, I don't go there a lot, but there is that. Under so many battles, you get preferential treatment algorithm if you're a new player.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Yeah.
So it is quite possible to introduce.
No, I'm not arguing it's not possible.
No,
at all.
But no. That's why you get these conspiracy theories, because they've proven that it can be done.
Sure.
At very low tiers with low games. So why not do it with the 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 battle player?
Well, again, what's the purpose? What are you trying to do? Retain a player? Get rid of a player? Elevate one player over another? For what purpose?
Yeah, I know. I get that.
I think it's just built into the game. It's just the way way the game is. Gator makes a good point there. And here's the thing: all right, I'm a 55% player. Say you're a 55% player, and you get mad because you have a 48% or a 40% session, right? Well, being a 55% player doesn't mean every day you sit down you play at 55%, or maybe slightly higher because you think you're getting better.
That's obviously
Some days you're 60, 65, some days you're 40, some days you're 50. But what it is an average. This is what people get mad about. Like, oh, I'm a good player. I shouldn't have this 45% day. Well, I mean, you guys have seen me. I've reported on it multiple times. My record's at 58 something over 100,000 bloody battles, and some days, even multiple days, I'm in the 40s. It just go look at my thing. Generally though, if you look at it, it's well above average. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Again, for me, if you go, the base problem is not necessarily the matchmaker algorithm. Certainly, they can always work on it. Frankly, it's as good as it's ever been right now, based on the rules they have. It is working with a bunch of imbalanced tanks. So if it just happens to pick a bunch of imbalanced, and that's kind of why we got into this whole matching up assault TDs with glass cannon TDs and some of the other rules that they brought in there, because that was baking in some imbalances based on maps.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And all the other things. So I'm not saying that it's perfect and they shouldn't touch it. It's just if they don't address the imbalanced tanks, they're never going to fix, and I don't think there ever really is a fix to matchmaker at this point, but they're never going to, that's a bad word. They're going to find it difficult to improve matchmaker at this point with how many different rules they have in it without addressing imbalanced tanks. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think the general feeling and consensus is, I mean, I'm a 52% player, but it's at times, and I've got 30 plus 1,000 battles on my NA, and I've got less on my EU. But it feels at times it's hard to maintain that rate. It always feels, I'd say always, I shouldn't say always, but it's like when you've got 100,000 battles, obviously the math into the stats is a lot wider. So you can afford to lose 10 battles on the run, and it's not going to adversely affect your overall win rate because you've got 100,000 battles for it to look at to give you that 58, 60%.
Yeah.
When you're down at, hitting middle average, 50, 51, 52, it only takes a run of 12, 15 battles where you're not doing so well. It knocks 0.5% off your win rate if you're into win rates and all that sort of stuff.
Depending on how many battles you have. I mean, once you're at 100K like me, mine barely moves. Yeah. I can have a week of 40s and I might lose 0.05 or something, which is fairly significant to me, but not overall a big deal. Not that I would ever really do that badly, I think, in a week, but you get what I mean.
No, and I think also it becomes also very much a perception thing, because over this last, say, 3 weeks, the whole Christmas thing, I've been playing probably no more than 3 battles a day, apart from the big session I had before Christmas. Basically, if I get a win, I'll continue to play. It's so parochial, this is. If I get a win on my first battle, I'm going to have a nice day, and I'll play 5 or 6 games, irrespective of the win-loss rate at that point. If I get a loss with game 1, I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm off. I'm not doing
I am increasingly there. I haven't played in the last 3 days, mostly because of Christmas, but also because I've been playing a couple other games that I've been interested in. And I've been doing more and more. I've been talking about for a couple of years now. This has really creeped into my gameplay with World of Tanks. Is if I get into a bad streak where I'm not enjoying it, then I do the sane thing, which I didn't used to do in the past, and just walk away and go do something else. Instead of continuing to push a bad situation. For whatever reason, I've lost 5 in a row. Sometimes my fault. It's usually a combo. A couple of them my fault. A couple of them are crazy, stupid stuff that happened. One of them is just the team sucked. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
But instead of chasing that, I just go, I got better shit to do than lose. And even if I get on a win streak, if I win 3 or 4, I might go, okay, cool, that's awesome, and I'll move on. That's probably
the same. If I get
that's the healthier.
That's me finished.
Yeah, that's the healthier mental health thing to do, right? Instead of the insane thing where I just keep bashing my head against the wall. Gators.
But if I get a day, we'll go to Gator in a second. I downloaded GTA again, which I did when it first came out, but I've now got. Well, I've got the Legacy and the Enhanced one.
Okay.
So the original, if you like. I downloaded it again because I had it years ago when it first came out and I got rid of it. But that's my go-to because all I do is get a baseball bat and go beat a copper up. And I feel so much better now. I'm going to run people over in the car. Oh, that's all right. I feel happy now.
All right, I have to say, no, I'm not going to say that. I saw a great meme about the new GTA 6 that I laughed for a good long time. I'll share it with you later.
Okay.
It was one of the funnier things. The internet is undefeated. Let me just say that. So, okay, Bounce a Lot talks about if you take a break, you will almost guaranteed to have good games. I don't know if I agree with that off the top of my head, but what I will say about that is at least, because I don't think he finished that thought necessarily, although maybe it was implied in what he said, there is an incentive for the company to make that happen. Because the incentive for the company is you come back and play, right?
Yeah.
At least with that particular conspiracy, there's a valid incentive attached to it that is very plausible. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying that happens. All I'm saying is, at least with that particular kind of, I'm going to call it a conspiracy, but let's not call it conspiracy. Let's say theory. With that particular theory, then there's a valid incentive that I might go, yeah, you know what? Maybe they would code that. And that would be fairly easy because find the players who haven't played for a week or a month or whatever. And when they show up, there's a boost in the algorithm to their, dispersion or their pen or whatever. Okay?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying that happens, but that I could completely understand. In the main, in the entire player base, building an algorithm to decide different groups of players to do well or not, I can't wrap my head around how, not how, but why. The why. The how is you write code. That whatever. You could, and I've talked about this in the past. You could certainly go, all right, I'm going to pick a bucket of players for whatever definition you want, and I'm going to boost their pen by 10%. And in large numbers, that's a big deal. It might not individually hit a lot of individual players, although they are benefiting from it. But in the main, you would boost a lot of players. But then you have to ask yourself, why? What players were picked? Why were they picked? What is the expected
and that would be
outcome?
to the detriment of all the other players as well. So you would get an adverse effect. Because other players would go, whoa, I'm not getting anything out of this game.
And people have done a lot of number crunching. There's some very smart math brains that play this game, and they have taken large samples of numbers. And they're always flawed, like most stats are, because they generally don't have every single number, every single mechanic of the game. It's whatever is in the API. However, that being said, they've done some pretty serious number crunching, and nobody's ever really come up with anything that looked like manipulation. Okay. Everything they found can be explained and described through the random or the RNG and the dispersion and all the rest of the mechanics. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just reading what's been said there. There's a lot of good points actually in there. I hear what you're saying, and I think you're right. Is that the player base is too big to have a manipulation effect that would affect just those chosen people, because it would have adverse effect on the non-chosen, and who's doing the choosing, and how is the algorithm going to work out the choosing, and how long is that going to go on for, and etc. I get that. Maybe you could do it to a select few. Coming back to a conspiracy theory, if you wanted to make the big streamers slightly better off, you could probably do something with their particular coding. I don't know, but it's not beyond the wit of man to be able to go, okay, take this player name and do something in the coding that gives that player name an advantage. Maybe. I'm not saying that's what happens. I'm just saying that it's not beyond the wit of man.
Well, here's a couple things to think about the streamer thing. First of all, how did they become really good players? When they were nobody, did the algorithm pick them as the chosen one out of the basket from the river?
They have a skill.
Yeah.
No, they have a skill.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing I was going to bring up. The points that have been brought up here is that because the starting point of a new player, you don't get an awful lot of guidance or tuition. There's lots of little videos and everything else, but from Wargaming itself, there's very little in the way of how to maximize your game. So you can run around like you and I did, do 1,000 battles, being complete and utter idiots, and getting a win rate of 26%. You know what I mean? And
Diablo. Yeah, that was a great point from Diablo. Yeah, 100%. But there's the internet also.
Yeah, I know.
I was sub 40 for a long time. I was 20 or 30 into it, still at like 49%, 48, 49%, with very little idea what I was doing. Even though I thought I knew a lot about the game and was at that point, the game feels very random when you're sitting at 49, 50%. And it still feels random to me at where I am, but that's baked into the game. That's what I try to get people to at least that's my point. I'm not going to say try to get people to understand.
It's a very true point, because don't forget, when we first met, I was a 49% player, and only through your instruction tuition program, which you ran, I managed to get to a 52%, because I'd reached that plateau, and I'd said to you, I'm at 49, I can't move this, I can't do anything. So you just watched what I was doing, you give me instruction, you watched my video replays, and over time, I managed to get the skill set to take myself. I get it, 100%.
Yeah.
So it is a skill, and of course, as we're getting older, our skill set is slower. So the younger guys are getting in there,
and that's certainly a factor. Yeah, people say, "Oh, the Twitch skills don't matter," but that's not true. They do. Given the same knowledge and ability, mental ability in the game, the guy with the better reflexes is over time going to be better at the game. That's just how it is. What people just love to always go to the extremes, like, oh, just because you're a great Twitch player doesn't make you a great tanks player. Yeah, true. Yes, that's a fact. But if I'm given the same exact person with the same skill sets, as in the mental skill sets, the knowledge of the game, all that good stuff, the guy with the higher Twitch skills is going to be better. They're also going to probably play higher skill cap tanks, like faster tanks and less armor and that leopards and things like that. And generally, those in the right hands tend to be the better tanks anyway. Diablo that's a good point. I mean, I improved from there, and to some extent, I was also a victim of my own success. And even at a 49% player, you're a victim of your own success. Whatever it took you to get there, you start to believe that that's the thing. And I got to 58, 59 back in the day. Was closing in on 60 actually. I thought I basically knew everything about the game, and what I was relying on was some real aggressiveness and some good SA. Like I had good positional SA, good aggressiveness. I can pay attention to multiple things at once. It's just kind of what I did in life. So that skill set, not directly, but in general, translated to the game. Yeah. So I became a victim of my own success, though, because I started to believe that was the way, right? This is the way. There's only that way. And it's only been probably in the last 3 years, 4 years, when I started to sort of tail off, because the game had moved on from that being a super valuable or super viable. I'm still that way. I still am a victim of that, initial success, but I've opened up the aperture a little bit and started watching other really good streamers, people clearly better than me, Diablo, people like him, and the way they play. And it's not very close to how I play. I can still have success with the way that I play, and I enjoy it because I find it to be more active, I guess. But in reality, the actual way to be that 60 plus, and I'm not saying it's and I've gone over this multiple times, it's not camping, but it's extremely careful aggression. More careful than me, but also the thing I was missing was understanding as much about fallback plans and rotations. And that took me a long time, because I can absolutely dominate a flank given a little bit of help, no problem. The repositions and the rotations, that's the thing that escaped me for a long time. And even now, I'm a lot more analog with that than nuanced and, I would say, digital, as I should be. You watch some of these guys, you're like, why is he going there? And you're like, holy crap, didn't see that, that kind of thing.
I'm totally with you there, because I'm behind the curve. I'm behind your curve on this. I'm still very aggressive, and I am slowly learning, and I've been doing it the last month or so, is that I'm looking at the game and going, okay, you don't need to be the front man on this. You know, there are times when you should be. If you're in, you know, the big Japanese heavy or something like that, you should be as fast as you can make it. You should be up front because you're the big lump of armour that's going to give other people the impetus. Yeah. But I have found over time that being the aggressive guy, you're invariably out on your own. Because everybody else is like, just let him go and do that.
Yeah, and that's the key problem is overextension.
Over-aggression, overextension.
Yeah, there's various kinds of being aggressive in the game, but an overextension and losing half your hit points in the first minute, which is something I routinely do. And I fight from that position with those less hit points, and it limits your capability.
Yeah. So I'm nervous about getting into it, aren't you? When you know you're a two-shot, you're like,
exactly. I mean, I've played matches with Diablo and been up fighting, and the next thing I know, he's gone. But he's already seen the situation, and about the time I go, man, I think we need to get out of here. He's already somewhere else farming somebody else, you know. And then I'm like, shit, now I got to get out of here. I'm going to get shot in the butt.
Even worse, I've been in a platoon with you two. I either the first one to die because I'm straight in there, or secondly, you two bugger off the other side of the map, and I'm looking around going, oh, right, okay, I'll have to catch up with you guys then. Right. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I'm invariably the extra armour for you and Diablo. That's fine.
Could have lost almost 1.5% since Tier 11s came out due to me making aggressive mistakes, which are punished. Yep, and so that's another part of the pie with the power creep, and that's part of the reason why when I said my playstyle has become less usable, I guess. I'm thinking of a different word, but viable. Let's put it that way. Less viable is at the higher tiers. Already at tier 10, my playstyle suffered anyway, which is why I sort of avoided it because there's too much accuracy. Too much alpha, too much burst damage, too much firepower at tier 10. That if you're not careful, you can lose so much more, percentage of your hit points. So with tier 11, that just accelerates. Really, the whole game has been accelerating in that direction. There's the tier 11 piece. There's the power creep piece. There's the imbalanced tank piece. All that good stuff. But yeah.
I've sort of reduced the amount of tier 10. I'm not that I'm fussed about credits or anything else. It's more to do with currently with my aggressive playstyle. One mistake deletes me at tier 10. It's like why have I just been shot 4 times by 4 different tanks?
Yeah.
And I'm completely deleted within 2 minutes of starting the game. It's because being aggressive at tier 10 gets you either the hero's medal, or you're deleted back to the garage very quickly.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, thanks for coming to my Tanks TED Talk. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we should do this again. Anyway, channel news. What's happening with the channel, dude?
Christmas. Just hanging out. Eating too much, man.
Oh, I know. I'm suffering.
Yesterday was out of control. We got up and did brunch, and then we went somewhere else and ate, and then we went for burgers at our friend's house for a little Christmas party at their place with grilled burgers, and I walked into it there and I said to his wife, I'm like, are there 10 more people coming?
Yeah.
That's what you do, though, isn't it?
Christmas. It's insane because I sort of look at the food waste bin. And each day it's full. I'm like, why are we throwing so much away? Because there's just 2 of us, and then if the family come, it's like, they just eat us out of house and home, which is fine. But we buy for a family. We buy for 8 people, not just the 2 of us. So when they're not here, which they will be here very soon, but when they're not here, the house general and I looking at each other going, what are we going to do with all this food? And then she'll go, well, some of it's getting out of date now, so it's going in the bin. I'm like, this is disgusting. This is crazy.
So tying channel news and the discussion about skill and knowledge, mostly knowledge of the game, but also skill. I played a bunch of Warhammer 3 Total War in the last about week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I picked it back up. Got a couple of the DLCs. Actually, my brother-in-law bought a couple of the DLCs as a Christmas gift. And I'm on the easy mode, but what struck me is this time, as I come back, I actually have YouTube tutorial videos going on, which you can do for tanks too, while I'm playing, right? And if I get stuck on something, I just go to YouTube and look at it. But I've learned some things through my own gameplay by paying attention, and some things, and sometimes it's a combination of stuff I learn online. Just stuff I didn't understand, because like the economy thing. I wasn't making any money. I didn't have any money. I couldn't buy units. I couldn't buy upgrades. I was pretty far into the game. I was looking at YouTube, like, yeah, by now you should be making 20,000 a turn or whatever. I'm like, I'm doing 6 or 4 or whatever. What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
So just as one example, I finally looked into it, and I'm looking. I'm like, why can't I ever upgrade my fields, which is like a food income thing, to the next level? I can't get to level 2 on the fields. What is going on? Well, with the particular faction I was running, they have an extra building that you build that makes also more cash, but then unlocks the next level building. But I didn't know that, so I was just building the 2 first level, because one's one's industry and one's food, essentially. I was playing Bretonnia or whatever it's called, for those who know the game. And then they had this other building, so you had to have a slot for that thing, but you had to build that thing, and I couldn't figure that out for like 30 turns. Like, what is going on? And then I learned other stuff about resources that gave you more cash. I was ignoring those. I didn't know what they did, so I didn't build them. I was trying to build military buildings, which, who cares? You only need a few in core areas to build your armies, stuff like that. So the point of all that is that I got better as I learned more about the game. Right? That's the tie into Gioblo's comment.
That's a very good point. It's a good point, purely because games are so involved and complicated these days. A lot of the games that are out there, it does take either a lot of time to focus and get yourself educated by it, or you have to sit down outside the game and read up on it all, or watch YouTubes and stuff. Very few people, not everybody, very few people have the tenacity to do that. And that's what makes you a good player, is sitting down and knowing the ins and outs of any game, whether it be World of Tanks or whatever. But we only get to the level we're at with the knowledge that we've got, which is not 100% about World of Tanks, but it's because we've been playing it for 12 years, or in your case 14. You know what I mean? But you can imagine putting 14 years of anything into anything would make you fairly good at what that subject may be.
Right.
Be it gaming, be it,
What's interesting about tanks is I still learn stuff, or mostly relearn stuff.
All the time.
Sometimes purely learn stuff I didn't know. Again, going back to Devil's comment about game mechanics, it is a very complicated game mechanics game. I've described it as, on the surface, it's very simple, and this is answering kind of your question, Disc. Welcome to the show. We do. This is Coffee Talk. We drink coffee. We talk about a little bit about life, gaming, a lot about tanks. That's just kind of what we do on a Sunday. But thanks for coming by, man. With tanks, the surface idea of it is really easy. I drive a tank. I point a gun. I click the left mouse button, and it shoots a shell. Right? I aim at the other guy. If that's all you knew, then you could, quotes, play the game. From there, the stack of skill, knowledge, understanding the game mechanics, how they interact, etc., ad nauseum, because it's quite a deep game. It's extremely deep, especially if you want to be good. If you don't care about being good, it's not necessarily a deep game. If you just like driving around shooting, you don't care if you blow up, great. It's easy game. If you want to be really good at the game, then you got to put time in it. It's like anything. And you'll giving me shit about Warhammer not playing on Legendary. Dude, I haven't even got to the point where I'm really playing a lot of the real-time battles. Everything I'm doing is auto-resolve right now. Yeah, I'm not there yet. I don't know if I ever will be, actually. I keep looking, I'm like, ooh, that looks cool, and that is probably how you have to be good, so you don't lose battles that you could win otherwise.
The things about, like, for example, for what, and I know this is old news now, but the thing about reversing back from a bush so it becomes opaque, I never got that till about 2-3 years into the game. Right. I was like, I was like, where does that? Because there's no tuition to that unless you see somebody do that. So I'm stuck right in the middle of a bush, thinking I'm camouflaged.
What's the video I did Friday? If you watched it, the guy was running a 278 and he was on the sniper spot on Cliff, I think it is, and he drives into the bush and then turns sideways. All right, so you go here's the base knowledge. Bush good, hide, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets into it, goes, well, if I get all the way in the bush, then I can't be seen from any direction. Well, first of all, there's no map behind you, so there's really no possibility of you being line of sighted there anyway. Number two, if you get into a known bush, and you're probably going to get shot at, number two. If you get into a known bush and turn sideways so you're longer, so you're easier to hit from a blind shot, that's probably not good. And to your point, 15 meters, first of all, you're sideways, so you're not going to be able to back out easily anyway to try to get 15 meters, even if that was in your brain. And if you shoot, that bush means nothing anymore. And you're sideways with your side armor and long. It goes on and on. But if you don't, if you don't think of all those steps, and there's probably three or more things that I didn't even think about right there of the way he positioned in that position that were bad from a skill standpoint.
Yeah, I just like the old trick of being behind solid cover, and because you've got a spotting point on your barrel, is all you have to do is poke your barrel out, and it'll spot the enemy.
Yeah.
You don't have to pull your tank right out behind cover to spot the enemy. You can do it with your barrel. So, and I've seen players do that as well. I use that quite a lot. On Karelia is a good map to do that on.
Disc.
Favorite tank?
Yeah, this is easy for me. This one.
Yeah, this is it.
All day long.
Of course it is.
Yeah, Manticore. Fun tank. I really enjoy the Manticore.
My favourite, I guess, would be... Well, I might have two favourites, actually. And the Super Conqueror, because I do like to play a little bit of hull down. And it's even today, its armour is applicable, although it can now be penned with the Tier 11s, obviously, in. And of course the ELC 90 is my favourite go-to light tank, and I've got it completely maxed out. I mean, I can't be spotted from the other room, never mind from 400 meters. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to have some serious burn through to get me on my ELC 90. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, bounce a lot. I have a clan GFLC, and Pilgrims in the clan GFLC. Absolutely, bushes do have different camo values. Diablo's got a good point too, because and you don't know this necessarily, you can't really tell it in game, but depending on where it's the hitbox of the camo itself, sometimes you might see some leaves and you're not actually behind the hitbox of the camo based on the line of sight that where it's coming from potentially. The easy one is I've got a bush here and I'm sitting behind it, but the tank's coming at me from over here. Well, obviously that bush isn't going to help. That's an easy one. But sometimes based on where you are, even if you see the leafy stuff, you're not actually behind the hitbox, or not the whole tank is behind the hitbox of the bush, and you're not being camoed by that at all. Or the bush isn't a full camo bush. There are people who have a lot of knowledge on which bushes do what and exactly where the positioning is. And you know how they do that? Well, they get into training rooms and they figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Figure it out with spotters.
And a lot of times these are math guys. They go, all right, I'm going to take this tank. I know its camo value. I'm going to take this tank. I know its spotting value. And then they're going to do all kinds of positioning stuff to get ideas. And if you are playing competitive and you know the maps you're going to use and you're working on strats, those are the things you go test and figure out. And then that applies to randoms. It makes you better at randoms as well. Yeah. And that's where you get a lot of people when they figure out, my spot. You see people go to certain places, and they're very specific on how they position in those spots.
Position, the angle and everything, because don't forget the spotting points on the tank as well. You could think you're behind a bush, but your turret has got a spotting point on it.
Sure, there's the height of the vehicle, the width, the length, the angle you're putting the vehicle in there, the micro position within the position is important. So that's just that. There's one rabbit hole right there, and guys figure it out because they do, which sounds stupid, but they take the time. Somebody has. And sometimes it's work built on other work. But if you're going to play competitive and you're trying to do really well, these are the kind of things you end up doing because you're interested in it. So you want to find the exact perfect place to be in that particular spot.
Yeah.
So there you go. Haven't played too much
Dusk is more of a War Thunder player, he says. I like War Thunder, apart from the fact there's a lot of one-shotting going on with War Thunder, and you've got things like aircraft involved. It's a little bit more complicated, I think, War Thunder. But yeah, I do like it.
Yeah. Kedge, some twig and berries are larger than others and provide more camo.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. I have this.
What are we talking about?
Here it is. There's a leaf. You can't see me now, can you?
Yeah.
My spotting points are here.
Yeah. What's this?
Yeah, I can't see you now. Where's Guido gone?
Yeah. That's a polar bear hiding in the Arctic.
Of course it is, yeah.
Yes,
the gun has a spot point on it.
It's the mantlet. It's the mantlet at the. I don't know. Jibble might be able to tell us if he's still here. I don't know if it's the point of the mantlet or right above it, but it's the two spotting points are the gun mantlet base barrel position and the top of the whatever the highest point on the tank is. Center highest. Although I'm not really sure how they do it with casemates. Is it actually centralized? The spotting points. The one on the gun, is it like the center of the mantlet, or is it right above the top of the gun barrel at the base? I'm not exactly sure. Or is it actually the center of the gun barrel at the base of it? I'm not 100% sure. Right above it,
yeah, I thought it was. Yeah.
So, which is why if you ever poke out, if you have something with a long hole sticking out in front and you poke out on a corner and you get shot and you don't spot the guy shooting you, it's because your gun mantlet spotting point didn't come out from behind the corner.
No.
Right, so you have a corner like this, and your tank pokes out. You do this, and you get tracked. It's because your spotting point's still back here, covered by the building or the rock or the terrain or whatever it is. That's why you don't spot them, and they spot you, because your to be spotted points are all around the tank, center, front, center, back, on the side, all that good stuff. Top, I think there's one on the top as well.
Yeah, there's one on the top as well.
Yes.
Well, the bush mechanic in what is it's not as complicated as you might think it is. If you can get into a bush and cover all your spots on the tank in a light tank, then unless you fire or somebody can burn through that distance, you're pretty much, especially in a light tank, you're pretty much invisible. The minute you fire, and I think with light tanks, it doesn't matter if you move. You lose all that. The other thing about bushes is if you can come back, what is it, Guido, 8 or 10 meters, something like that?
15.
15. If you're back 15 meters behind a bush and fire through the bush, then you shouldn't be spotted. But people will take blind shots on that anyway, so don't be surprised if you actually do get shot. But you won't be spotted. So it's not as complicated as you think. It's just, as Guido was saying earlier on, it's knowing which bushes do the best job. And invariably on every map, there are those known bushes that, personally, if I get onto any of the known maps with the known bushes, I'll take shots into those bushes. 1 or 2, just in case. You never know, even though you can't see anybody there.
So here's what Diablo just said. And I'm gonna show you this. This is off the wiki, so it may not be perfect, but it gets the general idea. Spotting checks and the positions of being spotted. It is quite important. All right. And if you're good, again, we're getting back into the skill thing. If you understand these mechanics and are good at the game, the good players are using this knowledge against you. And you might even think, well, that's not really a big deal, but it is a big deal. Yeah. So if we go over here, this is off the wiki, spotting mechanics. So see these little red points here, static view range port, dynamic view range port. So it's right at the base, kind of centered on the gun mantlet / the base of the gun. So those are the spots. Those are the things that emanate from your tank to see things. All right, it's your essentially it's your gunner looking out, even though the gunner may not be right there. That's kind of the idea. And your commander looking out of his command hatch up here at the top. Which is why when you go over a hill and hold down, you see people because your spotting point to see and the point to be spotted, we'll get that in just a minute, is right there. That's why when you pop up, you see or are seen by people if they have a line of sight to it. All right, so it's right here. It looks like it's centered. And unfortunately, they don't really show you a casemate, so I'm not 100% sure how a casemate works. But if we go here, these are your visibility checkpoints, meaning the things that if they're sticking out, you can be seen by other people. Back of the hole. Actually, I don't have my mouse in this stupid thing. Sorry, guys. The back of the hole here, okay? The front of the hole. The front of the gun, same idea. And here's the one at the top, plus 2 on the side. So again, if you poke your arse end out and this visibility spot up here, this one, this view spot, what do they call it? View range port. If you stick your ass end out and your view range port does not have line of sight to the enemy, they can see your arse and they will shoot you and you will not see them. That's the idea of this here. There's actually a spotting point further out on the gun. I didn't realize that. That's pretty funny. That's important. I didn't notice.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that. So about
it doesn't show it
in.
here though. I'm not sure there is one there, but I guess there is. It says that. So you've seen this when people poke out and you see their gun kind of poke out.
Yeah.
And then they go back and it disappears. And again, it's kind of the design of the tank. Some tanks have really forward turrets where the gun and the turret's going to stick out pretty early. Rear turreted tanks, this is why rear turreted tanks coming around corners are problematic, because you got a long time before your spotting points come around to see somebody, but your front end's around and they're shooting the piss out of you. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so Diablo, yeah. And that's something I've learned a while back and try to do. You can, if you ever, and watch this, you'll see it. Now that you know this, you'll see it. Watch the big streamers and the good players when they get to a point and they do these little pokes. And maybe they start low and they kind of move up and they're careful about it and they wait for the sixth sense. They're just sticking their barrel out enough that spotting point goes out. And if they light up, they know they got seen. So that's SA.
Yeah.
If they go far enough and they bring the front of the barrel, or at least the base of the spotting, they might actually see something. So very interesting.
Yeah.
You'll see it now. You'll see people doing this, and they want to know: am I going to get spotted, or can I see somebody? They're not going to just commit and go woohoo and just go around the corner and lose.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the interesting thing that very few people know: the visibility checks. The game does not permanently have vision emanating out to where no matter when things trip, you see it. Have you ever noticed, especially at range, that you see a guy coming across, got line of sight across, and then he goes dark, right? So he's gone dark, and then you're looking at an opening, a rock here and something here, and you're waiting for him to pop out, and you're going to shoot him when he pops out. Okay, so you know he's coming, and he goes dark because he's not spotted, and you're like, I know he's going to blaze across here, and then he starts crossing, and you don't see him till what seems like halfway across that opening.
Yeah, exactly, till he's halfway across.
You're like, what in the hell happened right there?
Okay, I didn't know this. This is new to me.
Yeah, this is the wiki, wargaming.net. Like I said, it may not be perfectly correct, Diablo, and you would know better than most people, but that's the website right there. And oftentimes this is old, so it doesn't have updates, but there you go. But at least from here, so essentially the deal is, if you're closer, the game will do more spotting checks faster. 0.1 seconds is pretty fast. That's not really permanent, but that's about as close to it. If you're close, you're going to see someone. But that's proxy spotting range. Within 150, it's every half a second, and that's starting to be enough time that you notice it.
Yeah.
We get a second within 270. Every second you do spotting checks.
Yeah.
At 445, which is draw range, right? 445, I believe, is draw range.
What is draw range? Yeah.
No. That's max spotting range. Max spotting range. 500 is draw range. 445.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
so at max
spotting
spotting range, it's 2 seconds, or inside 445. That's a long time. That's 1001.
Well, that bears out an awful lot of what I've been seeing is tanks will poke from behind a rock, they'll go dark, and then I will then aim on that corner, and actually I get shot before they light up, and I go whoa, because they've pulled out. And
Sure. So there could be two things going on there. Number one, it could be your visibility check wasn't quite ready, or it could be. Well, if you're saying they went dark, then yeah, they've gone dark on you. I was going to say it could be you weren't lit until you come back around the corner. That also you got to watch out on that. In that case, if you're lit and you get behind a rock, but your cooldown for being lit hasn't stopped and you're still really lit. So that's it's a great example though, because there's several interplaying mechanics right there that would explain why you got shot. And people are like, oh. And I've done that on stream. I'm like, what? How does he see me? Like, well, let's break it down. There's several possibilities here why he saw you.
Yeah.
Other than Wargaming hates me and they want me to lose.
I'll go with that one.
Let's see. Disc.
Oh, Brute is getting a bit worked up about bushes. He needs to go and have a cold bath.
Well, he's an old fighter pilot, so that's what we do.
Well, that's what you do. Locker room.
For or against prototype tanks being added to the game, since a lot of them were never created. I don't get wrapped up around that disc. I'm more interested in the new tanks being as balanced as possible. This is another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's another complete rabbit hole. In order for the game to continue to live and be popular, the game company, the developers, have to create the desire or the incentive for people to play and buy new stuff. If the game was just get historical tanks and play tank wars, and it never developed past that, it'd already be a dead game. As in, it might be played, but it wouldn't nearly be as big. So in order to create hype, and this is the balance they try to do, they have to create tanks people want. They've already gone through the vast majority of actual historical tanks. There's still some variations, and you see them come out, and that's fine. But in terms of nearly every historical tank, we have them. There's a couple lines here and there they could do. One of them's the Israelis, but that's problematic with people and blah blah blah. So all that stuff aside, I don't care about what'd you call them?
10 tanks.
Yeah, pretend tanks. Now, personally, I don't really care for the cartoon tank stuff and the Panzer Children and that stuff. But the good news is I don't have to buy it or use it, so whatever. People can do what they do. So
you don't have to see it either, because you can turn that stuff off.
True.
So you don't see it in
So
game.
you've been given that option, which is nice. So honestly, I'm more interested in decent balance. I try to stay away from I want the game balanced, because you can't perfectly balance a game. Some games are better balanced than others. World of Tanks has been better balanced in the past here and there, but that's usually transitory because they do continue to put out new tanks and new mechanics, and how those things interplay have a lot to do with how players use them, and not a whole lot to do with the developers' intentions. Developers' intentions are important up to the point of release, and then you have to react to how players play them. Hopefully that answers the question. I'm not that bothered by it. As long as I still see tier 8s with my 279E. Yeah, there's levels
in that tier 8 when Diablo's in his 279 early.
I would not.
I'm like, yeah, that's me.
No, I don't want to meet Diablo in his 279 with my tier 8.
No, I don't know. I don't want to be deleted within.
Hopefully, I can
30
find the
seconds.
flankies not on for that period of the game where I don't have to deal with them.
Yeah.
Crazy tier 11 mechanics.
In fact, they should make this game. They should make this game skill based, and then I'll never see Diablo in the game.
Good point. Well, there you go. There's the best argument for skill based matchmaking.
Yeah.
He can go beat up other
game.
60 percenters, and then hopefully, one of the problem with that whole idea. Again, that's a rabbit hole number 69 we've talked about today. At some point, those good players will rack and stack, and some of them will get relegated down to the next level,
Yeah.
or up, depending on how you build the matchmaker, whether it's that kind of skill-based matchmaker. Oh man.
Yeah.
Reality's starting to slip away to what it is, and that's tied into they have to create hype, so they've gone with this tier 11. Somebody made a great point on a YouTube video comment section, and they said, you're kind of down on tier 11s, but I like it because it's got a grind, and I do agree with that. I get that part of it, the grind, the idea that I want to sit down and work my way towards the next tank, get the next upgrade on the tank. I get that. That's part of the allure of the game. It really is. I've said that when a new line comes out, I grind it. People want to go through and I want the tier 10 and blah blah blah, and I'm going to use my free experience. Not me, man. I grind it to the next tank. Now, to be fair, I do usually upgrade the components because I don't really feel like playing the base tanks because that's just kind of miserable.
No, I think most people do that though. I think most people do that.
Yeah, and then I'll grind from the full modules up to the next tank so I can play the tank. Theoretically, that's why we're here, I guess. I mean, some people are here to play the tier 10s and 11s. Fine, not me. I want to play all the different tanks. So there you go. I would not be playing tier 10s if there wasn't a tier 11. That's interesting. Okay. Oh, as far as grinding to it, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I ground out the light tank because I wanted to see what the Borkenkoffer or whatever it was like, and I enjoyed that. I played the PZW. I hadn't played the PZW in years. I actually really enjoyed playing that tank. It's a pretty good tank, but I already had 100 battles in it. My 100 battle challenge thing kind of keeps me from playing stuff I've already had. So I did grind, and I did enjoy it, and I did grind that thing to fully upgrade it because I wanted to see how the whole mechanic worked. I'm not really interested in doing any more tier 10s to 11s. Maybe one day, I don't know, but right now, not the gameplay I enjoy. Game to me feels like it's in the money.
I was just about to come on to this disc. Here's a thought. Have Wargaming taken the wrong fork in the road?
Yeah.
Had they gone tier 11 upwards is modern tank era, and tier 1 to 10 is the existing tank lines, they could have actually had tier 11, tier 12 going on to modern day tanks, so they could have had a fork in the road. But now all they've done is a continuation of tier 1 to 10 by creating 11 super tanks with weird press a button to make it better. I personally feel that they've taken the wrong fork in the road.
Yeah, I don't know.
They could have gone.
Yep, I understand where you're coming from, and it is the question. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They chose the other way to go with it. Some of those tanks are currently being used, and I think they kind of avoid a lot of the security and other crap going on by just making fake, speculative, made-up tanks, and they just don't have to deal with it. Plus, think about it, if they went to the real-world tanks, there is a fairly limited amount of those for those higher tiers. Like tank development really is a pyramid at this point. There's only a really few being built. I mean, once you get to an Abrams, it's an Abrams. I guess you could do multiple versions of it, but there you go. You know what I'm saying? So I think they went the route where they have more flexibility to build whatever the hell they want. Like, there's no TDs in the modern era, right? There's no TDs.
You have magic tanks.
It's not really mediums and heavies anymore. It's just MBTs. So they've really gone in their own direction. GFLC will take any player.
Madam Yorktown saying consoles got that.
Yeah.
So I guess for console they've taken that particular route. Bounce a lot. GFLC will take anybody. We'll take everybody and anybody. We've got no real rules apart from be nice people.
Yeah. Don't be a jagoff, and it'll be immediately apparent if you are, because you'll no longer be in the clan. But to play Mr. Tough Guy there. But you understand what I'm saying. We're the no drama clan. A bunch of old guys. We're just playing tanks. If you are looking for competitive and guys who do clan wars and stuff, that's not us. We just sort of hang out and chat and play the game and try to get better. Occasionally somebody will organize stuff like that, but that's not really something we do much of. So if you're looking for that kind of thing, you probably need a different clan. But if you just want to hang out, yeah, absolutely. Anyone's eligible. Yeah, everything needs a special mechanic. I don't know if we'll get to it because we've been chatting. Pilgrim probably has to go here pretty soon. But I was looking through
about 5 minutes.
Armored Patrol for all the upcoming stuff, and we're starting to get tanks with multiple mechanics. In particular, the Japanese tank with hydro pneumatics or whatever, and a cooled gun.
Yeah, no, press X for everything. Oh.
And that was liberating, actually, Diablo. When you played the sheriff account, that was a lot of fun because I don't want to say you necessarily
There's
could
no
YOLO.
commitment to it.
Yeah, but you could play aggressively or do fun stuff. I never tried to throw a game necessarily, but I did try to just have fun, and you could rage around. If somebody got you, they got you. You're like, great, good. I just gave got 250 gold. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, we've been at it for a while.
Back in the day when you could climb, the out of bounds areas, you used to be able to climb them.
Yeah.
Imagine being a sheriff sat on top of one of those mountains up there, knowing the climb route, knowing the goat route. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree with though, Brute. It is
normal.
100% in the money making. We are in the money making zone. Some people argue we've been here for 10 years. That's always been an argument. People whining about it. And really, I thought overall they've done a really good job of stiff arming that piece. But I think at this point the gloves are off. If you look at all the upcoming premiums and reward tanks, and now we have tier 9 premiums, and we're getting all it's just now they're just chucking everything into the mixer and doing what they can, which is what they do with games. It's loot boxes every 3 months.
Keep making money, haven't they? The business. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't be surprised by
Yorktown, I think that will come. I think that will be something along the lines of future World of Tanks. Is the multi-gun, multi-turret thing? I think you've got it on console. There's nothing to stop it being on PC, I guess.
Yeah. I was watching a guy doing a video on the longest lived games, and this is one of them. I mean, World of Warcraft is the model, right? That thing has just been going on forever and ever, and it's an outlier, obviously, because so many games. Some games come and go in a week. You got $50 million, $100 million game. They release it, and 2 months later, it's gone. Nobody even plays it. It's gone. That's insane. This thing has been chugging along for 15 odd years. It's still a really good base mechanic idea of the game. You take 30 people, 15 on each side. You get in a tank, has a tiering system, random matchmaker, 15-minute game, done. Right? No hit point recoup, no respawns. Play the game, move on. It's a good design.
Thinking about it, Guido, I think they've got that part of the mechanics of the game pretty much sorted. Is that if you're new to the game or fairly new to the game and you're still in the middle tiers, you're not seeing the magic tanks at tier 6 and 7. So it's still that old school game down at those tiers. It's only when you start to get 8, 9, 10, and now 11, you start to see the magic buttons and the rockets and everything else. So I think if you're a real old school player, you'll stick at 6 and 7s with the occasional 8s, I guess.
Yeah, all the looking at balance, like Christmas brings more players in, but obviously we'll see once we turn over into January, February, the amount of players will decrease, and we get to summer, it'll even get less. It is certainly on the decline. I don't think it's in any danger of being gone in the next 3 or 4 years. 5 or 6, who knows? Prognostication. Pilgrim, I got to take a quick break. Thanks for coming by. Pilgrim's going to peace out, guys.
I'm going to shoot.
Yep. When I come back, we'll chat a little more, and then we'll get going. But Pilgrim, thanks for coming, buddy. Say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye to the people. We'll see you next Sunday.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Now in the shadows came a mysterious chap who spoke in a tongue with strange dialect. He offered his help to the mighty Guido to bring some laughter to his love of speedos. To the coffee talk they both came, to bring the message of winning ways. To all and sundry and the masses. Yes, that's right, lads and lasses. The damage counts and flexing back will keep you on the right track. Greedo is his name, tanking is his game. Greedo. Greedo is his name, tanking is his game. Greedo. So in what, if you want to progress, then seek out Greedo nonetheless. With his sidekick Pilgrim, he has a message that to win you must be aggressive. The position and place that you must seek, for the winners only, not the weak. The guru speaks, so listen well. His voice rings out like the Liberty Bell to bring you all to Unicom land, or to die hard trying in the sand. Greedo is his name, tanking is his game. Greedo. Greedo is his name, tanking is his game. Greedo. To the swamplands came the mountain man.
Alrighty, we're back. And all the everything in its proper place. And I don't have to wear the earphones anymore, which pleases my ears. Pleases the ear hole. Alright, fellas. You guys got to polish his hobbit feet, that's right. I forgot about the... What was it? It wasn't lilacs. What was it? What flower was it? Let's see. Arguing either position. Simply attempt to answer your question, not saying it's right or wrong, but it's just different. Oh, what's going on here? That's right, it's Boxing Day. Give me a reason why I can't use a 37 miller M3, 47 the OI, and 70 the mouse. Yeah, I think they already have double guns, right? I mean, they've proven they can do that. Lavender, that was at 8th Hussars. I don't know why they don't do that. That might be a little tough, though. You know, you get two guns on an M3, because even the 37 millimeter is kind of viable at that tier, so that would be interesting. I mean, if they did a double gun on the M3, wouldn't you think they would nerf some of its characteristics, or nerf the 75 millimeter in order to kind of balance the tank? I'm not saying it's the impossible dream. You just have to adjust the numbers, but I would expect something to be nerfed on it, other than just give it another gun that could take on lightly skinned stuff. So, just something to think about. There's always the give or take, right? If you're going to add something good, then probably you're going to lose something in the balance department, unless that tank is purely trash. And it's not really. The M3 is not bad actually at its tier. Okay. We're not going to really do the shilling part. A couple things to think about. I have not seen unless I missed it, I'm pretty sure we haven't done a consumable sale, so I would expect that, I guess, soonly, maybe New Year's or something, soon after Christmas. We're going to have Christmas ops until the 12th. Remember that you've got if you're doing the Battle Pass, you have until January 12th. So this particular Battle Pass is going to go for a while if you're doing it. I have a reward. Cool. What do I get? Let's see. I'll have one of those. Sure, why not? So still do that. Remember, you still have to be picking up your Advent calendar. We have another, 3 days, I think, Math in Public. And make sure you're getting your goodies here to translate those into this terminal. I'm saving these up. I'm going to do them all at once just to see what I get. I'm kind of behind the power curve on this one. I have not really played a whole bunch during Christmas ops, so some of you will probably have got a lot more coins than I would have got, mainly from the missions, because you can get resources from the missions that I haven't been doing each day. Although I finished all the regular missions. No, I haven't. Got to keep doing this. I forgot about this. I do need to get in here and do this. I'm 1, 2, 3, whoa, bunch of them behind. But these are going to go fast if you just sit down and play a bit. You crank through these. What do we got? Stupid blocked. Hate that. Done blocked missions. Damage. Spotted. 800 damage in a victory. Cause damage. All relatively easy in order to get your free Chaffee Dog. And eventually to get Bumber Snitch Camberbach over there. Alright, so that's cool. Why is Winter Raid telling me to press it? What's going on here? Did I get one other thing? I have 380 points. No, I can't do anything with it. Not really sure why it wanted me to press. Well, can I get this? No. Huh. Oh, it must be saying, hey, that's probably just everybody telling you to go use your points, but I didn't have any points, so it didn't matter. Anybody play that? Did you enjoy it? Did it matter? Don't know. I didn't play it. Anybody like that thing this year? Oh, that's not the one I wanted. That's weird. Let's go over here. Oh my goodness. So now it thinks it. Okay. Jeez. All right, that's what I want. Cool. Sorry, I'm trying to sort out my issues here. I have many of them. Click the first credits block. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see what's going on here. So there's something I can do. First credits block. No, I did that. I think, right? So I got that because I know you get points. You just got points for existing. And I did this one and I did these bonds, but I only have 380 points. So I can only do, unless you can do it here. No, they're all the same, aren't they? Yeah, I have. These guys. They got a little check mark. Right? The little check mark means like I did claim these three. Click the square, yeah. Doot. That's what I'm saying. The little check mark means I've already done it. Same thing. So I already collected these three. And I only have 380, so I don't have the 400 I need for this one. Alrighty. What am I doing here? I don't know. There we go. Let me out of here. Alrighty. Really, all the news... Oh my goodness, this is driving me crazy. Here we go. All the news is just new tanks, really. And some styles. So we've got 2D style coming, another 2D style. This is something that's happening quite a bit as well, we didn't mention, but the just reskins, essentially, of old tanks. This one being the 752, Object 752, and it's got a fancy skin, but there's no difference in the stats. It's the same tank. So a lot of that stuff going on. Centurion, the Triumphant, again, a reskin Centurion. Tier 10 tank is just a clone. So it'll be some kind of, I don't know, gift tank or whatever. Maybe part of a special. Jade Spiral, same thing. GSOR 1008. Clone. That's 3 if you're keeping track. We didn't mention it, but in the game store you can pick up for gold the Type 5, the 7501K, and the 122. The Kari is really a pretty good TD for a casemate. The 122 is a better medium than you would think. 7501K it's a Mongo tank. If you like Mongo tanks and rear turreted with decent armor, not amazing, then that's your tank. I really didn't sell that, I'm sure. Advent calendar. A lot of screenshots and historical reference for tanks coming up. We've got the 120 Albi, which is a tier 8 with a 4-round autoloader. We have the Terrafant. And this is all related to update 2.11, which will happen right after Holiday Ops, so somewhere after the 12th. I don't know if the dates are out. What is the 12th? The 12th is a Monday, probably. Yes. So 13, 14, something like that. January. Expect that 211 to come out. And then probably we'll have the Chinese New Year event. Maybe boxes. There is also going to be an auction somewhere in there as well. Then we have the 63-1 Ogar. And it is a Tier 9 premium. So here comes the charge of the Tier 9 premiums. For sure. That's a check. Burion. This is a Tier 9 premium. Here they come, fellas. Heavy tank. We have the KB-52 Tier 9 promotional medium tank. Russian tank. 3-round autoloader. So it has a 3-round autoloader. This appears to be a regular cyclical. I don't know if it has anything else going on. This has turbo mode. I think the Terrafont is a cyclical. Could be wrong, don't know. Then we have, not really sure, release the 2-1, the Phantom appeared in the game. Not sure why that's here because everyone has that tank. STK2, which is the new Tier 11, so we're going to get some Tier 11s, a couple more of those on lines. One of them is the STK2, which is a heavy tank off of the Type 71, I think it is. All right, unique customization for the ST2, so there's going to be a camel with that. There is PTZ 78. That's Chinese. I think that's off of the WZ line, I believe. There it is. It says right there, off the 113 GFT. So if you want to start cranking out experience for the new Tier 11s, as if you don't have enough Tier 11s to try to unlock right now, you're talking about the Type 71, you're talking about the, oh, it's SDK2 twice in a row. You're talking about the WZ 113, and that's the same tank. I think there's one more. 3, right? Thought there was 3. It might not be here, but I believe there's a third one involved. But those are 2 of them anyway. Common Test 2 is up now, if you're doing that. They've done some various changes with that. I'm not going to go through those necessarily. There's a streamer bonus code, but all it's getting you is 10 Christmas cruise skins of EU streamer Surkov. So if you got to have this dude, looks like an interesting looking guy, then that's the code right there. Go for it. Advent calendar, we've got the Kame, which is a Tier 9 premium medium tank, Japanese, coming out. So premiums all the way, fellas. The Liox, is that how it's said? I don't know. Tier 9 medium premium French. Holy cow! It just keeps coming. A tier 10 AHT. What? This is in super test now, fellas. Yeah, Diablo. Yeah, that was a while ago. Look at this. A 165.1 millimeter gun. A 1000 alpha tank. 1200 with HE, and I guess that's heat. Hesh. An American Hesh tank with a 1500. Yep, an American 4005, which appears to be a little more compact and maybe not as ungainly. So essentially, probably 0.44 dispersion, so inaccurate, -8 depression, 27 seconds to reload, 35 kilometers an hour. It's a TD, of course. It does have some armor. Let's see. Turret 241, it does. And 89 with some angling on the hull. Great. This one cracked me up. The M7Y, which is a... I'm assuming it's a... Probably not a premium because it's a tier... No, it's a tier 9, so maybe it's a premium. I don't know if it says that. But check this out. Brand new vehicle from the Yo family featuring the familiar reserve track mechanic. Thanks to its shortened hull, the reserve tracks work very effectively, so speed losses are far less noticeable when the main tracks are destroyed. Of course. So we've entered into the region. We have entered into the region, and this has been happening with autoloaders for a long time with all the various mechanics, but we're entering into the region where other mechanics are now getting better mechanics, like boosted of the same mechanic but better, right? Much like the autoloader thing that's been going on for a long time. Now the Yo tanks, at least this one, is going to have a better reserve track system. Oh boy. There you go. And this is the new line. The Ares 90 is the tier 11. And this new line of autocannon things with no reload or whatever the hell it is that they got going on with this thing, it just overheats, kind of silliness, does end at tier 11. So this line goes to tier 11. There's the tier 10 right there. That's the Ares 90. And then we've got the Ares 85 and the Ares 75. These all go off of the tier 7 T20, and that is 100,000 experience on the T20 to unlock this if you're not going to use free experience. Jimmy, I would absolutely love to see them put out a premium tier 8 Artie or two. That would crack me up because people, what would it matter now? I mean, Artie is pretty much nerfed anyway. Now it would be annoying to get a overpowered Artie like an autoloader Artie, or even just having premium Arties. They don't have to necessarily be an autoloader to be a premium Artie, but I mean, they would sell them. Like the Artie fans would go crazy if, and maybe they're holding one of things like that in the back pocket. That's a card they'll play when they really need to milk the game completely. I'm kind of surprised they haven't already done that, to be honest. But I guess the negative feedback, they're still worried about it right now that they're not going to do that yet. But it has to be in the cards for them to put a premium tier 8 artillery out. Would not be surprised. Ares MBT. This is the tier 9. Oh, I forgot about this. The tier 10 Japanese wheeled tank destroyer. Here's gun cooling, visual wheels. What does that mean? What does visual wheels mean? Promotional mechanic gun cooling, comma, visual wheels. Don't know. Not sure what that means. Then we have the LTC-2, which is a tier 9 10 round autoloader. The old T-71 at tier 10 with the autocannon loader there. And we've got an SPHT, a tier 9 heavy tank premium. Looks like a kind of Pershing-esque looking thing. Naturally, it has a tumor on the top of it because it's American and must be shot in the tumor. Then we have a different kind of Cannon Jagdpanzer. This is a tier 8. This is the first tier 8 I think we've seen on this list as a premium. It has hydropneumatic suspension and siege mode. Which I think, to be fair, is what the Sturves have, right? Essentially, that's what they are. Hydropneumatic and siege mode. I don't know if they're advertised as that, but that's what it is. It's getting wacky, fellas. Oh, KB-52, tier 9. Have we talked about that one? I think we already saw that one. This has a 3-round autoloader. Sure it does. Changes to premium. Oh, we got some premium changes, but they're going to change a tier 4 premium. Sure. These are the things that already happened, aren't they? I don't remember if this already happened or not, but we're going to get more horsepower in a 3045M because that one needed a boost. KVS, more horsepower. More horsepower. I don't understand why, but I guess we're just going to be able to get up and go a little better with the Russian premiums. Sure, IS-2M has a boost. 152 has some gun handling stuff. Slightly more accurate. The Panther M10? Faster aiming time and better dispersion from turret traverse. Sure. The RBFM. Dispersion stuff. A little bit faster. The old M41D. An OG light tank. Based off of the Black Dog, I think, or one of the others. Dispersion stuff. So more accurate on the move, basically. Oh, the 1951, one of the most forgotten premiums. Some dispersion help. Movement, hold traverse, mobility. Okay, these are all little things. The Buryan. Is this in the game? I don't even know if this is in the game. I guess it is. It's a... Okay, sure. Oh, I think these are new. So they're just throwing these in here because it's in that particular buff. Well, I don't think this is not... Is this all super test? No, this is common test. These are changes that are coming. Leah, okay, so these are tanks. Okay, they've thrown these in with the other premiums. These are updates to tanks in common tests that are going to be released. These are not already released tanks, and I think that starts at here with the Buryan, unless that one's been released. But it's certainly this. This is not out. Lorraine 120 Albi. They sort of chucked those into the same article. Cuckoo. Advent calendar. And then, we already talked about this, but we are getting buffs to various tier 11s already. The Skull, the 40 thing, 40XX, the Hirschkoffer, the Leopard 120, the 432U. Boy, lots of buffs. And the Hacker. They reduced the fuel tank mass. Actually, I saw a funny Reddit post. They were referencing these tiny little changes. And they're like, the Hacker is completely overpowered now. That's it, guys. And that's stuff we talked about last week right there. I think that is all that is fit to report, my friends. Appreciate you guys coming by. I'm going to go join the fam because we are making brekkie. And the people have walked into the house. There were no maps. There was a map. Quickly, this is in Super Test. We got Battle Map Oil. I don't know if there's any maps involved in 211. Not sure. Does anybody know real quick before we go? Right, oh brute. That's the plan. I need to show up out of nowhere. Kind of losing the tough guy cred by sitting in here playing video games, but that's alright. We'll deal with it. That'll just make him think I'm unhinged a little bit, and that's good. I don't really see list of changes. Tier 11, post-battle, onslaught, sound, frontline, outstanding, customization, vehicles. I see no map changes with this next patch. It's all vehicles in the new line and yada yada. Right, Jimmy? I don't think he does, oh brute. I think he's a very straight-laced guy, but we'll find out. All right, fellas. I appreciate you guys coming by, as always. Thanks for the subs, follows, watches, views, ect. Let's find somebody to raid and get you out of here. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope your Christmas was fantastic, guys. We have New Year coming up. Be careful on New Year. Enjoy yourself in moderation or not. I don't care. You do you, whatever you want to do. And then next Sunday will be the 4th. Next Sunday, all this will be over. Next Sunday, speculation for the next holiday ops begins. We'll have to start worrying about boxes. Don't worry, because there'll be 3 or 4 box events in between Christmas anyway, so you can go crazy with that. Who we got? How about Gazelle Intensity? That's a weird name. That's who we're rating. Rating Gazelle Intensity. As always, I don't know a lot about these guys, so if it's a ship show, it's not my fault. You're going to be working, hoping for a quiet hotel room. Oh, dude, I didn't even think about that. That could go pear-shaped. You're just trying to get some sleep for the next trip, and the freaking party is on. Happy holidays to you, Jivy. Same thing, super free. Oh, Brute, good luck on the trip. Fly safe, my friend. Monday. Tomorrow's Monday. I might try to fly a little bit tomorrow, but I still have a house full, so we'll see. The hookers are noisy. Yeah, that's a problem. Right, guys. Hey, as I said, I appreciate everybody coming by. Have a great rest of your holidays. We'll see you next Monday, the 4th, I believe it is. You on the road? All right, well, there you go. All right, guys, that's all I've got. See ya.